Hello, this is Christy Rufino, and I want to welcome you to day one of the Profitize Your Purpose 5-Day Challenge. Have you ever heard the saying, do what you love and the money will follow? Well, to that I say hogwash. And hogwash is more than just a saying, it's actually just a product, little rabbit trail here. You can have soaps to wash your pigs, your hogs. You can have little soaps made out of or looking like hogs that are for people. And there's a whole lot of products to wash your hog, which is a motorcycle or a Harley. But let's get back on point. And when somebody says, do what you love and the money will follow, that doesn't always work. What I believe is do what you are created to do, which is your purpose, and the money will follow. So on day one of the Profitize Your Purpose 5-Day Challenge, we're going to dive into your purpose and help you really discover what your purpose is. So Robert Cialdini points out in one of my favorite books, The Psychology of Influence. He says that the ability to produce a distinct kind of automatic, mindless compliance from people, that is, a willingness to say yes without thinking first, is the key to success. So in order for that to happen, we need to get inside the heads of our clients so we know how to help them. We speak their language and they're willing to say yes right away. That creates much less resistance. But in order for that to happen, we have to be crystal clear on our business, and we have to be really crystal clear that we are following our purpose-driven business. So what I like to use for this process is the GPS purpose principle. And we're going to go through a few exercises to help you get clarity on your purpose through this 3-step process. So the first thing we're going to do is uncover your gifts. And that means your gifts are the things that you find to be easy, fun, and almost effortless. So much so that you wonder why other people have a hard time finding it to be easy as well. Like for you, it's a no-brainer. To you, it's just so natural. And your gifts are what you were created with. You can't develop gifts. You can't wish for gifts. These are things that you were created to be naturally good at. So in the homework, what I want you to do is really think about your natural gifts and abilities and jot everything you can think of down. No matter if you don't even think it has anything to do with a business, that's okay. Just go through all of the different areas that you feel you're gifted. Maybe it is leadership abilities. Maybe it's conversations, communications. Maybe you're really good at that. Maybe it has to do with something more technical. Maybe you're a numbers person. Maybe you're naturally good at writing. Like whatever it is that you can remember back as a child where people said, whoa, you're really great at that. Go back in time and go back through your life and think about all the areas that you're just naturally gifted. The next thing we're going to do is think about your proficiencies. Now, these are different than gifts because these are skills that you have learned. So if you took classes to learn how to be really good with social media, if you took classes to remember names, maybe you had done things, maybe, in school, there's a certain area that you went into, and maybe you don't even like it. Maybe it's not a gift or something you enjoy, but you learned skills at that. You became one of your proficiencies. This is something that you find that you have learned a lot of wisdom around. So make a list of all of the areas that you feel that you have a lot of wisdom based on learning them. So these are all your proficiencies. Write those down. And you know what? For all three of these areas, we really want to spend time. Don't just jot down a few and move on to the next one. In the training, we're going to do it quickly, but I want you to take some quiet time, go sit down somewhere out of the ordinary. Don't be around a bunch of people. Don't be where you are in a normal situation. Go someplace different, because that gets you out of your normal settings and allows your brain to get in that more creative space. Maybe take a walk, jot down these ideas with your phone. Maybe it's just going someplace in your car, looking at some beautiful nature. Do something that will allow you to kind of just think outside of the box and get into that creative place of your brain. And then the next thing we're going to focus on in the GPS system is your strengths. And these are things that you have developed, areas that you've become very good at based on accomplishing something through a challenge. So if you went through tough times and you developed some sort of area that you didn't necessarily want, but you did. Like, I know when I went through my divorce, I was not good at like talking to people, networking. I'm an introvert, so I didn't want to go out and talk to strangers. Heck, I like my close family and friends. But because of that difficult time, I was forced to learn something new. I was forced to create a new strength in an area that I wouldn't have normally done. So as you're filling out these lists, you're going to realize that some of them may overlap. But what you want to do is write them all down and then segment them into the right category. Because yes, becoming a better networker was something I learned, but I want to take it away from the learned proficiency to the strength in the area that I was forced to do. And you may not think this is going to make much of a difference, but it really will, because now what that's going to do, it's going to compartmentalize these three areas and allow you to think of other things. So when I took the whole networking example and I realized, heck, I had to learn that. I didn't want to learn that. Now that's allowing me to think of other strengths that I learned that I didn't want to. So it's just meant for you to create more light bulb moments. And the reason why we're doing this GPS process is because the best way for us to determine what our purpose-driven business is to get all these foundational elements in place so we can determine our end result. Just like when we're driving in a car. We used to use MapQuest to pull up a map, print it out, and like bring it with us wherever we went. I remember, gosh, I've been riding motorcycles for 23 years, and there was one guy that always would lead us around, and he would print it out, put it in a plastic kind of a sleeve, and he would magnetize it to his motorcycle tank in front of him. So we would all be following him. He didn't have a GPS, because heck, that was before GPS times. And he would be following the map that he wrote on this paper map that was like plastic on his tank. So in case it did rain, it didn't get wet. So what we want to do is we want to really use all of these skills, gifts, proficiencies, and strengths to help us determine our end result, which we're going to keep working on in day 2. So I encourage you to do the homework. Make sure you take all of this information and put it in the thread for this video. What we want to do is have you list out your gifts, proficiency, and strengths. Take the top 5 of each of them and list them in the thread below, because at the end of this challenge, we're going to have a great gift for the person that's been the most active on all of our days. So I will see you on day 2, and hopefully you have a fun time going through today's homework. All right, bye-bye for now.